Welcome to the Earn Podcast, making it to and through nursing school. I am your host, and this is a morning motivation episode. Today is Wednesday, December 11th, and it's time to get motivated. The quote of the day today is, quote, "Don't watch the clock, do what it does, keep going," unquote. This is by a person named Sam Levenson. I really like this quote because it seems simple enough, and sometimes if you read something like this just casually, you might kind of overlook the actual value of it, right? So obviously, unless the battery runs out, which I guess maybe now that I'm saying that, I can maybe work that into this episode somehow. But unless most clocks, at least if you're watching it, generally you're watching it because it's going and you're counting down. So a lot of people are. And this makes a lot of sense. A lot of people can relate to this, whether they're at work, whether they're in class, whether you're at an event you really don't want to be at, whether you have something exciting come up, right? So I'm not going to talk about all of those instances. This isn't a life, I'm not going to teach you about life here in the sense of how to behave and I'm not an Eastern philosopher. I'm not in the business of telling you how to live a better life or live a good life. That's not what this is about. We are trying to accomplish a very specific goal, okay? Multiple goals, really. I really, would like not just the nursing school folks to listen, but those that haven't gotten there yet to listen, those that aspire to even start to get there. Everybody. You all have a specific goal in mind, okay? This goes, let me just explain this to you. Here's where this starts. This starts before you even begin. Before you even begin, those of you that have already begun, okay, or whether you're in nursing school, every one of you can relate to the time in which you looked at a nursing program to look at the requirements to see what is required of you, A, before you can apply, and B, the overall amount of time that it's going to take in order to do it. So you may have looked at that, and again, this is kind of related to a podcast episode last week where I talked about something being impossible until it's done, right? But we're going to go further into that from a different angle, which is you looked forward to it and you thought about how difficult it's going to be. But at some point you started it and you were doing what? You're constantly focused on the countdown, or at times you can be focused on the countdown instead of what's right in front of you. Or a lot of you can get, complacent, and then you can look at how much time is ahead of you, and you can get stuck. You can freeze because of that. And that's really what this goes to. This really goes to not focusing on what's right in front of you. Instead, keep focusing on how much time it's taking you to do said thing, or how much time you have left to do something. Really, especially if you've done something for a while, you should be looking back on how far you've come. But even if you don't want to do that, focusing on the moment, and this is why I said I'm not really trying to teach anybody about life here, because, it's really big in Eastern philosophy that you should focus on the moment. I'm not saying that what you should do is be 100% Zen all the time. But the really kind of baseline point of this whole thing is the only thing that you should be doing for sure is what you're supposed to be doing. You shouldn't be spending any of that time focusing on the time. Okay? If that doesn't make sense, what I'm saying is if you are supposed to do a very big case study and you have 2 days to do it, then stop thinking about the fact that you have 2 days to do it and sit down and start on your case study. And then while you're working on it, instead of continuing to look up at the clock, literally, or think about what you have to do next, just keep working on the damn case study or whatever it is that you have to look at. If you have an extra long homework assignment because a teacher likes extra long homework assignments, especially when you don't feel that they pertain to long-term learning, which I have to be honest, as an educator, there are, and I'm not talking about nursing school here. I'm not going to go there. But in secondary, in post-secondary education, for sure, there are a lot of instructors and teachers that will give you what is essentially busy work, so that you have less time to focus on actually learning, especially if you personally or for your job is required to keep that information for the long haul. And by long haul, I mean like the rest of your life, right? That is not that possible if you are working and going to school and you have ridiculously long assignments where you have to fill out a bunch of things. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. But even with those things, you just work on it. If you're working on it, it's getting done. So the motivational aspect on that is to realize that the longer that you keep going, the longer that you just continue to do whatever it is that you need to do, the more is getting done, the less you have to do. And you don't need to watch the clock for that. There's nothing that you need to look forward to. Real quick, I did say I would address the battery thing. I kind of let that spill, and I don't edit these or pre-record these and edit these. These are, I basically look at some quotes that I like, and I copy and paste them, and then I read it for the second time when I hit that record button. All of this is just off the cuff. So I made a little boo-boo and said something about an empty battery, and all of you were thinking, well, my battery is empty, okay? Now, I want you to stop and think for a second about what my advice might be if you feel that your battery is empty. Right. Either replace the damn thing or recharge the damn thing how you see fit, okay? Regardless of what you got going on, I guarantee you can find 5 minutes to recharge a damn battery or replace the son of a bitch and keep going. It's of no consequence if your battery is empty or not if you have things to do. That is what you don't understand. It doesn't matter if your battery is empty. It is and I said this last week, and I'll say it every week, and I'm going to do an in-depth episode about it because kind of the theme of the first kind of couple weeks here is going to be motivation. I'm basically going to do a big episode on how motivation doesn't actually matter, and hopefully you'll listen to that episode and you will think of these little morning motivation episodes differently. But it should be of no consequence to you whether you have an empty battery or not if you have things to do. That's another kind of point, is you just have to continue to keep going. It's not going to go forever. There is literally not time for you to recharge or replace that battery, whatever that means metaphorically to you, you have a responsibility to keep going. A lot of people talk about burnout. I have been burned out before. You keep going anyways. And I know that sounds ridiculous to some people, and I know that sounds a little tough to some people, but believe you me, there are some tough love people that I like to listen to that would, if I said some of the things these people say, you would never listen to this, and you would find out who I am in whichever school I go to, and you would report me for saying these things, okay? Tough love works. So I'm not necessarily going down that rabbit hole, but what I'm saying here is it's really simple. As long as you're going forward, you're going forward. So just think about that today. No matter what it is that you're going through. I know for a lot of people, it's the end of a semester. It might be the end of nursing school for you. It might be the end of your prereqs. It might be a huge kind of goalpost. So now is the time where it's like, look, you only have a little bit longer. Maybe you have finals this week. Maybe you have finals next week. You have a break coming up. So there's your opportunity to do your recharging. Maybe you're going to pick up more hours at work, whatever, but you're not going to work 7 days a week. Even if you do, when you get home, you quite literally are recharging those batteries. So thanks for getting motivated with the Earn It podcast. Go out there and earn it today. If you did enjoy this episode, please do follow and share with some other people. I would love for more folks to listen. Maybe some of you want to come on the podcast. I'm going to be setting up something for that shortly and placing a link in the description of these episodes for those of you that want to come on and just have a chit chat. We can meet up on various campuses if you're local. If you're not local, we can always do something over Zoom as long as the audio is good enough. So again, thanks so much. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the end of the semester wherever you're at. And thanks so much for listening.